Alright, my name is Laura Arndt, and I'm going to present to you the Couch to 5K plan, just how to get started running. And with your goal of being a 5K run, walk, or run.
Okay.
So,
Walk sounds good.
We're not planning to run, but
you're not planning to run, you can do a walk. Right. So, the first thing, just to get started, the Couch to 5K, you can find the whole plan on a website. And you can just Google Couch to 5K and it comes up. And since this is hard to see, I just printed out. It's a 9-week plan to get you ready. And it consists of a walk run. It builds you up. You start walking more than you are jogging. And it's 3 times a week. So that it's not every day, and it's pretty reasonable and easy to get in 3 times a week for 30 minutes. So what you need to do is sort of set this as one of your priorities and pick a time during the day that works best for you in the morning or at lunch or in the afternoon. So lunch might be hard once you start jogging more because you might get sweaty, but you know, we have showers here too. If you wanted to do it in the morning, you could go out by the zoo. So what I recommend to start with is just pick a day or a week that is good for you. Go on the website or just follow the plan here. And we have a Wednesday night running club here at the hospital too. Every Wednesday night, yep. And it's geared towards beginners. So there's a 1.5 to 3.5 course. So once you're ready for that, you meet in the lobby at 4 o'clock on Wednesdays. So I didn't really tell you anything about myself, but I don't know. I've been running since 8th grade. Like I just kept going. I never stopped running. And now I do triathlon. I've done Ironman once. Don't know if I'll ever do it again.
Once was enough, huh?
I like doing the sprint triathlons now, where you know, it's like a 400-yard swim and then a 15-mile bike and a 3.2-mile run. So that's actually really fun, and you're all done with it in an hour and a half or so. So that's really fun. How I kept myself motivated through all the years, I don't know. I just got a subscription to Runner's World. You know, you can look at these magazines, and then Triathlete magazine. And just sitting down and reading these magazines, and it keeps you motivated. There's lots of ideas. There's injury prevention in there. There's nutrition. There's what to do if you lose your motivation, you don't feel like running. There's so many great ideas. Maybe you guys can just pass those around. So, what I recommend is to go out first of all and get yourself a good pair of shoes. Because if you don't invest in a good pair of running shoes right away, you're probably going to get hurt. Because and how you tell if they're good or not, you just look at the bottom of your shoes. And if there is no tread and they're all worn out, you know, it's pretty obvious. So it's best to start with a good pair of shoes and comfortable socks. And then comfortable clothing, like loose shorts, loose fitting shirt. That's all pretty important because being comfortable is really key to getting started. So during the first week, we can review and go over sort of how you get started. Hi.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
Do you need good shoes for just walking too?
You should, because let's say part of it's worn off. You know, it's going to affect your gait walking. Your ankle or your foot might lean in a little more on one side because it's worn off. So to have a good walking gait, yes, definitely get some good shoes. It's a good investment. And you should replace your shoes, they say, every 500 miles.
Tracks.
I don't know how you keep track. But for me, that's every 3 months or so. I get new shoes. I get new shoes a lot, just because I feel you can kind of tell when the cushion just isn't there anymore, and if you're using them all day. And I don't ever use my running shoes for every day. Like, I keep them, if you have running or walking shoes, save those just for running and walking. Don't use them for walking around the hospital all day long, or, I mean, have other good shoes for that, but it's good to have your one good pair that's going to last you a lot longer. So, all right, you've decided you're going to do the Couch to 5K. So the next thing to do is sign up for a race or a run. So you go on, just Google Wisconsin running, and there's a huge calendar. And it's got every 5K race, 10K, everything you can imagine. And the way I stay motivated is I actually click on it and put my Visa card number and I pay for it. And once I've paid for it, I'm like, all right, now I have to train for this race. I've paid for it. And that's my biggest motivator right there. So yeah, it really does help once you put your credit card in there, and get a friend. You know, if you've got a friend who would like to do this, or in a neighborhood, you've got a neighbor, somebody at work who would like to start training with you, that's always helpful. It's a lot less boring. Any questions so far? All right. Okay, so week 1, it goes across. So you've got workout 1, 2, and 3. So what you're going to do, you start a brisk 5-minute warm-up. Warming up is really important. So I don't recommend stretching right away when you're cold, but you could do a 5-minute brisk walk and then do some stretching. Okay, stretching is a whole other topic, but you can look up good stretches for walking and running too. But it is important to stretch your muscles, but warm muscles work a little easier than cold. So do a 5-minute walk, do some stretching. Then you're alternating 60 seconds of jogging and 60 seconds of walking for a total of 20 minutes on the first day.
60 and 90, you mean?
Yeah, sorry. Yep, 60 and 90. So another good thing to have is a watch with a stopwatch on it so that you can do that. And just use your stopwatch to time these things out. And you'll find it's pretty fun then. You know, you'll have watch to play with, and you'll think, oh, that was it, 90 seconds will go by faster every time. And that's, so as you can see, week to week it increases. You're walking less and jogging more. And it's a gradual, slow thing. The #1 reason people stop running is because, all right, I'm going to go run a mile, and they just try to run the whole mile, and then they, oh, forget it, this is too hard. So this is a really successful program, and it helps. And anybody can run a 5K. I mean, unless you have huge physical limitations, and I've even seen people overcome that and build their bodies up to the point where you can run. So, I mean, check with your doctor if you've got concerns, you know, or things where you should be walking rather than running, but you can build yourself up to the point where you can do it. And last night, I just have to say, this huge inspirational thing at Ironman last night, a blind man did the whole Ironman. Oh my gosh, came out of the water, he was strapped to, he had a guide the whole way, he was strapped, he swam Ironman strapped to this, like the first guy swam and the other guy just swam behind him. They got out, everybody was cheering. Then they rode a tandem bike, 112 miles. And then they did the full marathon with him holding his arm the whole way. And the crowd went crazy, you know. It was really motivational. I mean, oh my gosh, if a blind guy can do Ironman, you know, you think like that. So you can do more than you think you can. It's amazing, you know. You have to start slow and build up, but it's really possible. Anything is. So you go week to week, and this is a really good plan, I think. It's 9 weeks, and you should be able to actually run a 5K at the end of 9 weeks.
So do you only do it 3 times a week?
This program is only 3 times a week. If you're feeling really good after week 4, you know, you can do 4 or 5 times a week if you want to. I recommend exercise like at least 4 times a week. Right. This plan here,
Because there's so many out there. There's so many, I Googled it, and there's so many couch to 5K plans out there.
this is actually a trademark though. This is actually the official one. I don't know if there's
Is it?
offshoots. Yeah. It's under Cool Runnings. It's got a little trademark, so I know that this is the official Couch to 5K.
Oh,
There may be other offshoots of the plan.
I bet that's what I was looking at. Oh, shoot.
Could be, yeah. Okay, another good way to know what 1 and 2 point, you know, I take my car, I go out, okay, that's a mile. That's my 2-mile course, that's my 3-mile course, that's my 5-mile. And I plot it all out so that I have a variety. And then I know, okay, I'm going to run 1 mile today. And I know exactly that I ran 1 mile. You can get GPS watches too now.
There's
You
also
know.
Map My Run.
Oh
on
yeah,
the internet.
Map My Run. Yeah, that works. Map My Bike. There's Map. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can do that too, right? So you can get GPS watch, tells you how far you've run, how far you've swam, everything. If you don't want to use that expense and just some gas, you can also use your car. It's kind of an old school way, but. All right. The other thing I just want to highlight a little bit, because I'm not a nutritionist, but it is really important when you're exercising and especially running to keep your body running efficiently by eating healthy. So just kind of think of that. You don't want to load up on a lot of carbs, but you do need carbs when you're running. But in the very beginning, if your goal is to lose weight, you know, you should probably see a nutritionist about that. But if your goal is to run a 5K, your weight will come off as you do this. So I don't tell people to focus on losing weight. I tell people to focus on getting in shape and getting healthy, and it just happens. You know, take the focus off dieting and all that. Just try to buy more healthy foods and eat well. So I think that is pretty much all I have. Yes, questions?
Are you worried about your knees? Because I've heard so much about knees problems later in life.
Well-
That your knees kind of gets really worn out and if you run instead of walk.
Well, I think what happens in the beginning of every season, like if I went a few years where I didn't run at all in the winter or anything, because I don't recommend going out on slippery conditions or anything. But if you run on a treadmill, you have to kind of listen to your body, and if something starts to hurt, let's start to walk. But eventually what happens, like the first few times out, yeah, your knees might feel a little, you don't have to be too squeamish unless it's really bad pain, because once your quads start building up, it supports your knees and your calves, and pretty soon it goes away. I mean, the same time, first time I get on a bike seat in the spring, it hurts. When it goes away after 3 times on the bike, your muscles adapt and develop, and then you're fine. If you have knee issues, you know, that's different. But if you just have a few aches and pains, I don't know, put a little Bengay on it and just keep going. You know, you have to kind of push through a few of it in the beginning, and then a lot of it will go away once your muscles start developing. Yes?
What are some of the foods that you tend to eat, some of the good foods for you that you tend to eat when you're trying to?
I eat at least 3 to 4 servings of vegetables every day. And I eat high protein. I don't eat a lot of carbs. Like, I'll eat 1 sandwich a day, maybe. Well, not every day, but I don't eat. If I have a really long run, then I'll eat pancakes. You know, I kind of judge my activity versus, you know, what goes out comes in, like that. So if I'm not very active that day, I'll just eat smaller meals. And I eat meat, I eat chicken, I eat steak. I love steak, chicken, fish, tuna, and a lot of vegetables, and I eat fruit. And I eat cookies now and then. I don't eat store-bought cookies. Usually I eat, like, if somebody makes homemade, I'll eat that. I like frosting. I mean, I like ice cream. I don't just eat, you know, I'm not good every day of the week, but you can't deprive yourself either. So.
And how do you break up your exercise sessions to fit in your day if you're really busy? What do? You run smaller amounts of time, or how do you fit in all of your...
Well, what I do on Sundays, if I know I have a busy week, I look at my week right there. And then I say, okay, and I put on my calendar, here's when I can run. You know, it might be in the mornings this week, it might be at night the next week. I might do my longer runs on Saturday or Sunday and just do maybe shorter workout sessions during the week. But it's good if you can plan it out. You know, maybe on Sunday when you're at home. Because, right, otherwise you're like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to have time today, and then it's gone. So if you really make it a priority and plan your week, that works pretty good.
Is it true that you can really break up your running sessions to maybe 15 minutes versus 30?
Yes, definitely. You could, in the morning, if you have a half hour or even 15, 20 minutes, the thing you have to be careful with is you want your heart rate to be getting up there, and it won't get up there much less than 20 minutes. So you could do 15 minutes of like stretching and floor exercise and yoga and things like that in the morning, but you still probably need to get a straight 20 minutes of cardio in at the end of the day. So you could break it up like that. If you want to do a long run, you could do 20 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes at night. If you're really feeling good, 30 minutes in the morning, 30 at night. After a few weeks of this, if you're consistent, you know, an hour a day broken up, it really wouldn't be too much. I mean, you can do more than you think you can. That's what I found with most people. They're surprised at themselves. They're like, oh, wow, I guess I'm in better shape than I thought, or I'm getting in better shape, and it's all working out. So you have to really listen to your body. Any other questions? Oh, I have some samples. Food? Yeah. I said food. Not to eat. No, sorry. Oh, I also, hydration. I was going to talk about hydration. I run with this little thing, and it just gives you some water along the way. It's really handy. You can carry a bottle if you want. If I'm on a long run, like if it's an out and back, I'll throw it in the weeds. I'll drink a little, and then I'll throw it in the weeds, and then I know I'm coming back, halfway back, and I'll get my water bottle out of the weeds, and so you don't have to carry it the whole time. But I like these little handheld things too. Good. And then people have those little belts. You've probably seen them with, so they carry a lot of stuff on that. If you're training for a marathon or something, you'd want a whole belt. I don't really like carrying all that around my hips, but it works for some people. Okay, this stuff is Aquaphor. I was sponsored by them last year, so I have all these samples left over. But it's for, you can put it on your lips, you can put it anywhere you might have chafing, or just, I don't know, some rough spots on your elbows or your feet. So there's your little present for the day. Thank you. Unbox of these.
So,
yeah, thank you.
So where do you
Thanks for
suggest
coming.
you get fit for shoes around here? I mean, I don't know what a good running shoe is or how it's going to fit.
Shoes, well, close by, I'd go to Movin' Shoes right here on Park Street. Yeah, I mean, I go to Rogan's because I kind of know what I want, and I'm used to my same brand.
Right.
But, and once you know that, you can go get the 2-for-1 deal at Rogan's or
Right,
whatever, but
right.
I'd start out going to like Endurance House, Berkeley, a running store,
Okay.
and have someone help you.
Okay.
Yeah. And they do like foot strike analysis at some of those places. They'll put you on a machine and they'll see if you're pronate or supinate or what's happening with your feet too.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.